Yo, what's up guys? This is Midnight Webbing. Welcome back to some more Borderlands 1 and 2. And today what I want to talk to you guys about is just basically, this is my top 10 picks. This took me a couple hours to narrow this down, by the way. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that, how much time it took me to actually, not to make the actual video, but just coming up with this list was very, very difficult for me because there are so many good guns in the Borderlands series. But I came up with 10 that I would love to see return in some variation, or like either be remade or just brought back like the way they were into Borderlands 3. Now, these are from all three Borderlands games. I got one or two from each. Most of them from Borderlands 2, but I think I got one from Borderlands 1 and one from the pre-sequel as well. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. Let's get right into it. The first, number 10 that I want to see brought back is the Maggie, and this is one of my favorite guns of all time, guys. I absolutely love this, and I love the way it looks. I love Jacob's pistols. I think they're really cool. Just this gun is absolutely awesome. It shoots, for those of you who don't know, it shoots 6 pellets, kind of like a shotgun, but it's a revolver, and it fires as fast as you can pull the trigger because it's Jacob's revolver. So it basically has slightly less damage per each projectile than a normal Jacob's revolver, but the overall damage output is much higher, and the pellet spread is much tighter than that of any shotgun, or most shotguns in the game. The pellet spread is much tighter, except for maybe the Striker might have a tighter pellet spread. But other than that, the pellet spread on this thing is probably tighter than any shotgun in the game, which makes it very, very good like at medium to long range. Like you can just output a lot of damage with this gun. It's just a very, very good gun overall. Number 9 is the Grog nozzle, and or the Ruby, or something like that. Even the probe from the pre-sequel before it got nerfed. I want to see some kind of Moxie healing weapon with a very high healing rate, like a pistol, something like that, in Borderlands 3. Something that can turn the tide of a battle by throwing a grenade or something like that, or meleeing. If you have a melee build character, I want to see some kind of gun like that. Maybe not as high, like the 65% healing rate on the Grog nozzle, but certainly at least the Ruby only has 12%, but that was still very, very helpful until the Grog nozzle came out. But just something along those lines I think would be really nice to have in Borderlands 3. Now, number 8 is a weird one. For those of you who have not played Borderlands 1 extensively, you probably won't even know what this is, and it's called the Ares. It is a pearlescent revolver from the Secret Armory of General Knox DLC from Borderlands 1, because it's the only DLC that you could actually get pearlescents from. This thing dropped from Cromrax, from Badass Lance Defenders, and from the Crimson Lance weapon chests as well. Now, what makes this thing special, it's always shock. It's an Atlas revolver called the Ares. It's always shock. Always shock element somewhere between ×1 to ×4 on the weapon card. Has relatively high damage, like higher damage than a normal revolver of its type. But what makes this thing special is the transfusion rounds. It's always shock, and it fires transfusion rounds that will steal health from the enemies on impact. I think that was a really cool concept, and this is the one pearlescent that I want the most in Borderlands 1. Of course, I do not have it, unfortunately, but this is definitely the one I wanted the most for a while now. I think it's really, really cool. I just think it's a cool concept. It's sort of like the healing trails, like a bunch of the Siren abilities make in Borderlands 2, so they can actually heal teammates as well if the teammates are close to the enemy that you're shooting, if they're closer than you. So you can actually heal teammates with this as well. This is the only healing gun in the Borderlands series that can actually heal teammates as well as yourself, which I think is a pretty cool idea to have. So as anyone who's low, you can kind of turn the tide of a battle for a whole team instead of just for one person, which I think is pretty cool. Number 7 is the Twister, which is a unique shotgun from Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, the 3rd DLC for Borderlands 2. Now, I really, really like this shotgun. I just think it's a very, very cool gun. It's always shock. It fires projectiles that are in the shape of a tornado that get tighter over time as they travel, and I just think it's very, very cool. It fires like 17 to 19 projectiles in the shape of a tornado, so it has quite a bit of damage output. But the unique thing about this gun is that because of the circular motion of the projectiles, each projectile can actually hit a target more than once, so it can actually do a lot more damage than what's listed on the item card, which is pretty cool. I'd love to see something along those lines, like something like that, like a tornado type thing, or like a hurricane, or some cool thing, like circular, unique projectile motion gun in Borderlands 3. Now, number 6 is a fan favorite, the Conference Call, which used to be one of the best guns, if not the best gun, in Borderlands 2, back when it was like level 50, and even at level 61. It's not as effective at 72, and especially not at OP8, but unfortunately, I'd love to see a gun like this return in Borderlands 3. Basically, this is a it's your standard Hyperion purple shotgun, with the exception of the fact that it only fires 5 projectiles instead of 6, and each projectile, at regular intervals up to 4 times, will launch 2 projectiles perpendicularly sideways, outward from the gun, upon up to 4 times in flight, depending on distance, as well as once upon impacting a surface or enemy. So this thing output a lot more damage than what was on the item card, especially with the B shield, because each of those projectiles coming out from the side got the full amp damage from the B shield, which is pretty cool. This thing, so this thing output quite a bit more damage than what was on the item card. The item card for this gun was very misleading, because it's like, oh, this is an average shotgun. This thing outputted so much more damage than most rocket launchers in the game at the time, which was very, very cool. Now, number 5 is the Butcher. Now, the Butcher is, I'm referring to the Borderlands 2 pearlescent version of the Butcher, not the Borderlands 1, the legendary one, which is still a good gun, but I'm referring to the Borderlands 2 pearlescent version of the Butcher, which had a relatively high, like 16 to 19 round mag most of the time. Like it was like 14 to 16 more like, but with magazine increase size and stuff, you could get it up to like 19 or 21 or something like that, which is pretty good. But the thing that makes this gun special is the fact that it regenerates ammo randomly as you're shooting. Each shot you fire has a chance to just randomly put a random number of bullets back in the magazine. It can be anywhere from the full magazine size down to 1, or even 0. Like I said, it has a chance to not proc. But if it does proc, it can just refill the magazine, or it can just put in like 1 bullet or anywhere in between, which is very, very cool, because as you're shooting, you can see the ammo just goes down, then just goes back up, and then down and up, and so you actually get a lot larger of a magazine size out of this gun. Has a very, very quick fire rate. Only has 3 projectiles, 5 with the practicable prefix with the vertical grip, but it fires very, very fast, like you said, and you can actually do a lot of DPS with this weapon, which is pretty cool. Now, number 4, this is the only one I have on here from the Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I would have a couple more on here, but I don't think they're going to be bringing laser weapons back, so I'm not really going to be, I'm not expecting that, so I'm not going to include any lasers or anything like that. I did have a couple lasers that I wanted to see brought back, but I don't think they're going to be bringing back laser weapons in Borderlands 3, because I think that's supposed to be unique to the pre-sequel on the moon. But the luck cannon from the pre-sequel is a Jacobs revolver with a 1-round magazine, and it has built-in money shot. If those of you who don't know what money shot is in Borderlands 2, it is a Gunzerker ability where the last round fired from a magazine will deal massive amounts of bonus damage, like up to like 880% with a class mod, which is 400% without, which is pretty crazy. Now, so this thing can do like massive amounts of bonus damage, and each time the money shot thing procs, it makes the money shot noise from Borderlands 2, as well as adding additional explosive damage to that shot. So it is a 1-round magazine, but any magazine mods, anything like on Nisha in Borderlands the pre-sequel, sorry, you can have that one skill that increases your magazine size by all guns by 3. So this gun will go from a 1-round mag to a 4-round mag, but each shot will still have the chance to proc that money shot. Plus, you can actually dual-wield pistols as Nisha, so you can actually have up to 8 shots in this weapon, as well as with Handsome Jack, with the skill that had a very high chance to not consume ammo with a class mod, up to like an 88% chance. You could just spam this gun like a regular Jacobs weapon, just spam the gun, and it would just randomly like run out of ammo like every once in a while. But from like it had like an 80 or 90% chance to not consume the ammo in the magazine, which is pretty cool. I think it'd be really cool to have a gun like that that has like really high damage, and it's like a 1-round mag or something like that. I just think that would be a really cool thing to have. Now, number 3 is the Lady Fist, and this is a unique gun from Borderlands 2, as well as the pre-sequel, but actually in the pre-sequel was only in the coding. You could not obtain it legitimately in-game without without, what's it called? Save editor, sorry. But the reason I want to see a gun like this, I don't care anything about the gun. I just want the unique ability that this gun has. It has plus 800% critical hit damage, which is absolutely insane. I want to see some kind of gun, whether it's a sniper rifle or anything in Borderlands 3. I want to see some kind of gun that has a very high critical hit modifier like this, like at least 600%, if not higher. I want to see something like that in Borderlands 3. I think that would be a really cool thing to have. Number 2 is the Infinity Pistol. Now, this is also a fan favorite. It's pretty popular. A while ago, around the same time as the conference call. This is a very, very good gun. This gun does not, it has a 1-round mag as well, just like the Luck Cannon. It is a Vladov pistol. What makes this gun unique is that 1 round in the magazine will never leave the magazine. It does not consume any ammo whatsoever. So you can just hold down the trigger infinitely and have infinite bullets, no matter what, which I think is really, really cool. I think that I want to see some kind of gun, whether it's an assault rifle, like a pistol, like another pistol would be cool to have. Have something that doesn't consume ammo, like some sort of gun that just doesn't consume any ammo at all, so it has infinite ammo, whatever type of gun it would be. I just love to see some kind of gun that has that ability in Borderlands 3. Now, number one is the fan favorite that you've all been waiting for this entire video. You've been wondering why I haven't been saying this already, is the Norfleet, which is a legendary E-Tech rocket launcher from Borderlands 2. For those of you who do not know, this was basically the most powerful gun in the game. Now, this gun, most E-Tech rocket launchers fired a single ball of plasma that exploded, and it would deal twice the damage on the item card. So it would explode. It would basically do 2 explosions, and they would have very, very big blast radius. But the Norfleet has an even bigger blast radius, and it fires 3 of these little plasma balls instead of just 1. So it'll say ×3 on the card, but you'll actually, especially with the sham shield, you can get up to 6 rockets back for firing 1 shot and consuming 3 ammo. You can get just actually even more than 6. I've gotten like 9 to 12 before. Like, the amount of explosions that this thing creates, it's exponentially more than what's on the item card. I would just love to see this gun brought back. This is a very, very difficult gun to get in Borderlands 2 because it was not in the legendary loot pool like almost every other legendary in the game. This thing could only drop from Vermivorous the Invincible or Hyperius the Invincible, which are 2 raid bosses, and Vermivorous is very hard to find. Hyperius was difficult to kill without friends, I mean, until people found some exploits and stuff. But I think Vermivorous actually had a much higher drop rate for this weapon. I've never gotten it from Vermivorous actually, but I have gotten a few from Hyperius. It's a very, very good gun. I love this weapon. It's so good, so powerful. It just absolutely vaporizes everything in its path. It's really, really cool. But anyway, that is my top 10 list. Let me know down below if there's any guns that you think I missed that you would want to see brought back or remade in Borderlands 3. Let me know down in the comments section below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback on that. I would love to know what you guys want to see brought back, and like what guns you guys liked, and see if there's any that I missed, see if you agree with me, if you disagree on some of them, let me know. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did, subscribe down below for more Borderlands, Destiny, stuff like that. The new Destiny update as well as the update for The Division are coming out tomorrow, so I will have plenty of videos on that for you guys starting tomorrow. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.